Hello everybody. Namaste. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Today I'm going to be doing a pick a card video. I have done these before in the past, but I have not done one in a while, so I figured that I would start it back up again. Here are the decks. You may pick between 1, 2, and 3. So with that being said, I guess I'm just going to go on into it and do it, because I don't have very much space on my phone, unfortunately. So if you guys want to donate to my Patreon, I'll leave a link for that into the description. You can donate whatever you want. I'm going to get that going, and there will be lots of stuff that you guys can see, like art. I also do tarot readings individually, so if you would like a tarot reading, then the link will also be down below. So yeah, and you can contact me at the email mentioned below. So the first deck we have is a pink rose quartz. The second deck we have is a rhodonite. The third deck we have is pink calcite. And those are the 3 you can choose from, so you can go down into the description and check the timestamps below, and then you will be teleported to the correct reading. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get right into deck number 1. So deck number 1, group number 1, welcome. This is your fortune for today. This is messages you can use right now. Again, this is the rose quartz. It's an old stone that I've had for a while. Alright, so the first 3 cards we have 9, the Hermit, 10 of Wands, and 9 of Swords. So you have 9, 10, 9. Okay, so the first thing that came to me when I saw the Hermit card, again, this is the Everyday Witch Tarot. I'll mention the decks that I used in the description. So this is the Everyday Witch Tarot. You got the Hermit. Okay, so this one's pretty obvious. You've been facing quarantine, just like the rest of us. If you're watching this in 2020, of the quarantine of 2020, there's been a lot of isolation maybe lately that I feel like the first energy I got from this one is that you, more than anybody, probably have been isolating a little bit more. Maybe you already have been your whole life. And then you got the 10 of Wands. I sense that maybe that there's a lot of, now again, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, I get the vibe that maybe you pull more weight around your household than anybody else, or at least that's how you feel. And I feel that you go underappreciated with it a lot. Let me show you the 10 of Swords real quick. Let's backtrack. So you pull a lot of the weight around your household, maybe more so than other people do, or maybe you feel like you're carrying a lot of burdens alone. Individually, you're going uphill, which is important to keep in mind. You are going uphill, which is good, but it's very hard because it's a really heavy load that you're carrying. So you have the 9 of Swords, which represents to me, you feel like kind of underappreciated, you feel a little bit stressed out, you feel like you're kind of alone and nobody in your household is really self-aware. You almost feel like they're not self-aware enough to stop and focus on the real matters at hand. Perhaps that your family or whoever you're living with is a little bit more concerned with other things that you feel like they need to like really, avert their attention to what really matters, and maybe they're not feeling that way. So this could also mean that you are generally feeling like you're carrying the weight a lot in a certain situation that nobody else seems to recognize, and they seem to be kind of completely overlooking your efforts and your attempts. So the next 3 cards we have from the Psychic Tarot is Stand Your Ground, Triumphant Success, and Patience. Okay, so the first thing that stood out to me with these 3 cards is Stand Your Ground, Triumphant Success, Patience. You have 7, 1, 14. Okay, so the first thing that I thought here was that you're not crazy, first of all. I just want to say that now. What you're feeling is real, and you are a very strong person. I sense that, like, deep down you're a very strong person, and that you even though life is hard for you and you have a really hard time dealing with certain things, I do sense that you have the strength to deal with it better than almost anybody you know. Like, if anybody else was in your situation, I feel like maybe they would be dealing with it a lot less practical than you are. So that's what I feel here. I think ultimately it's stand your ground is saying, remember who you are. You know, don't forget that you are doing a lot for yourself and for the ones that you love. Don't forget that you are, you know, you're really carrying the weight of things that other people might not want to look at. You know, maybe you're the one who's feeling the weight of the world on your shoulders during this quarantine, while the rest of your family is kind of just like, quarantine, yeah. You know, maybe they think it's funny. And they're not really internalizing all the weight that's going with this huge global change that we're all going through. So, you know, maybe like, this is wine, by the way. Speaking of quarantine, I sense that maybe they just don't want to look at everything that's really happening. You know, maybe they're just kind of seeing this quarantine thing as like, oh, it's a minor setback, that's pretty scary, rather than they're not really looking at it as a wake-up call. And I feel like you might be looking at it as a wake-up call. So here we have the triumphant success. I think that this is saying that your efforts will break through, and ultimately you just have to have patience. So I want to pull a card in, well, we're not there yet. Dreaming Days. Okay, so as of right now, you're kind of just thinking to yourself, like, how is this going to get better? How is this going to change? How am I going to come out of this? What is in store for me, and where am I going? Like, you're kind of just thinking about anywhere but here, kind of mindset, if that makes sense. I'm pulling this, the resting tree, patience and stillness. So right now, this is reversed. The first vibe I got off of this was that you're a very naturally parental person. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. And if you are not a parental person, then I think it's saying that you have the potential to really be the type of person that can hold your own. You can, you know, you can man down the fort for yourself. Like, you have this very, like, even if things get difficult, you still have this very, like, I know what I'm doing kind of mindset, where you know what you want, and, but at the same time, you don't. Like, I feel like you know what you want, but you don't. But in the way that you don't know what you want, it's kind of like, it's almost like you don't want to put too much hope into certain things in case it fails, if that makes sense. But you're totally willing to believe that those things will come. However, I will say that I do kind of get the vibe that you're tired and you're at the point where you're like, man, I don't know for sure if this is going to do anything. You know, maybe you feel stuck in place where you are right now, but honestly, I think that the resting tree with patience and stillness, you have a lot of patience cards in this deck. I do think it's saying that whatever you can dream, as long as you can put in the discipline, take the time to work on it, you can manifest anything you want. And that's what we're all about, is manifesting. That's why you're here, right? So next we have celebrate each day. Enjoy each day and look for a reason to celebrate. So this right here says, now if you pick this pile, group number 1, I have a feeling that maybe you are, okay, put it like this. This will be for some people, this will be for others. If you are the type that does, the first thing I wanted to say was, I have the feeling that your family is not horrible, okay? I have the feeling that maybe they're just kind of stagnant. If that is not true, then I was thinking maybe you have this mindset where you see the better in your family, and you don't you don't want to actually believe that they're horrible. You want to give them the benefit of the doubt. You want to trust them. You want to, you know, believe in them. And I kind of feel like if that's the case, okay, if your family's not horrible, then I sense that you're kind of just bored, okay? But if your family is pretty bad, then I sense that you're looking for reasons to feel better about your situation. Like, you want to have faith that your family's going to be okay, and that you're going to be okay, and that you guys aren't going to hate each other forever, or, you know, that your family's going to find better things to do for themselves and for you, and you're going to find better things. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you're just trying to find peace is what I'm getting here. The celebrate the day, enjoy each day, and look for a reason to celebrate, I think is, again, regardless of what kind of family you live in, whether it's broken or not, you want what's best for your family. You know, your mother could tell you evil shit, your dad could tell you evil shit, and you could still want what's best for them because you are the one, again, who is the scapegoat. You know, you're the one who is looking for, like, reasons to bring the family together while all of them are pushing their negative emotions onto you. The next card you have is Feel the Fun, Share Your Laughter, and Change Your Life. So this card immediately, to me, the first thing I vibed when I read this is, it doesn't matter if your family's good or bad or where you come from, what you look like, who you are, what a color you are, like, it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters ultimately is that during these trying times, you have to focus on feeling good. I'm not talking getting fucked up. Sorry, YouTube. I'm not talking about, I'm not talking about getting, like, you know, getting a new car or getting new clothes, because those things are temporary. I'm talking about, as of right now, I'm getting the vibe that you are really needing some time to be a kid again. You're sick of feeling like you're pulling around all this weight. You're sick of feeling like you have to deal with everybody else's problems, and, you know, you got people screaming around everywhere, like they're yelling and being loud all over you, and you're just kind of sitting in the middle, like having this, like, hypersensitive, like, self-awareness moment. And I think it's kind of saying, like, it's good if you're aware that there's a difference between the ego and the soul, but I think right now God is, or spirit, or the universe, your higher self, it's calling you to go back into your ego just enough to actually enjoy life again. You need to be able to enjoy life the way that you once did. Your inner child is not dead. There's no way you can ever lose that inner child. You just have to rediscover yourself again, if that makes sense. So I'm going to pull another card. This is our last one. Your angels are always with you. This is from the Cherub deck. So this card is saying to you, if you need guidance, ask for it. If you need the universe to really show itself to you, pray, ask. Just, you know, when you're alone, I'm saying, like, you're not trying to impress anybody, you're not trying to share anybody your spiritual beliefs or anything, like, you're not trying to, you know, make this a group activity. When you're alone in your room, pray for a moment. Or even if you're in the bathroom, you could be out in public, you know, anywhere. Just stop for a moment and pray, and remember that your angels are with you, and that if you need guidance, you can get it. You just kind of have to, you have to be open to receiving. So final conclusion here, I think, is saying, I know things might be tricky right now, and I know that you might be feeling like you have to carry around a lot of weight, but at the end of the day, you need to find a place where you can stop and rest. Otherwise, all this effort is going to be nothing to you. If you're not grateful now for everything, even the trial and errors, then you will never be grateful. If you're not grateful for the pain that's made you stronger now, you'll never be grateful for your strength. You will never be grateful for your strength if you do not respect and honor what has made you strong, if that makes sense. So with that being said, that concludes the reading for group number 1. We're going to move on to group number 2 now. Whew. Whew. Jeez, I gotta, like, detox from the first group. Gosh, I wish my phone wasn't glitchy so I could, like, actually edit these videos. Alright, group number 2. So, Spirit, give me, tarot, tell me all the things I need to hear. Tarot, tell me. Answer the Quirent's questions, dear. Okay, cool. Alright, here we go. Alright, group number 2. This is you chose the black and pink rhodonite. This is, like, my favorite stone, because you guys all know me, I love black and pink. Okay, so it's a rocky start. Okay, so let's see how it is here. Let's see what your tarot says for you, my friend. Alright. So, okay. So the first 3 cards you got: King of Cups, 4 of Swords, Justice. Okay, so so if you chose group number 2, I have a feeling that possibly this has your question or your feelings, whatever messages you need to hear, okay, first and foremost, have something to do with some sort of male in your life. So what is that? What am I getting here? You got the King of Cups. This is from the Everyday Witch Tarot. And remember, guys, I do individual tarot readings, so if you would like more clarification on something, then please do check the description box below, because I do tarot readings and I have a 98% accuracy. I'm pretty good. I do it with people in real life. I've never gotten around to actually doing it on YouTube. So I'm pulling 3 more cards from your pile because I want to get some clarification here. So you have, okay. So my first 2 vibes are, if you're a girl, this has something to do with a guy or a relationship. Okay, I sense that maybe you're going through, okay, how do I say this? Okay, so I think it's more so saying, you have the King of Cups, represents your divine masculine self. This is your inner masculine. It could also have something to do with relationship. Remember, these are general readings. Anybody who does pick a card readings will tell you this. It's general. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If something doesn't echo in your mind, then it's not meant for you. Just leave it alone, okay? Don't think about it too much. But remember to focus on what does resonate so you can work out your problems. And again, that is why I do individual readings, because, because if you need more answers, I'm more than happy to supply them as much as I can. But remember, I'm just the messenger, so like I said, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. So you have Material Harvest above the King of Cups. So the first thing I thought was, you're finally coming into your power, where you're realizing your strengths, you're realizing the ways to protect yourself, you're starting to pick up what doesn't serve you. And I think with the 4 of Swords next here, that's kind of what that's saying, is like, you're really starting to think about like what doesn't serve you, and on the other side of that, love begins, which means that you are, again, you're realizing what doesn't serve you, which opens up doors for you to, to learn and to acquire what does serve you, things that will help you. So the other card you have, hold on, I'm totally getting ahead of myself. So with the King of Cups, and then you have Material Harvest again. Sorry, I see the cards and I'm just reading the messages without showing you guys the cards, so it's kind of difficult. Because this is how I do it in real life. Like, usually I don't show them the cards because they're right in front of them, so I have to kind of remind myself. Anyway, so you have Material Harvest above the King of Cups, so that's kind of what gave me the idea that maybe there's like some sort of divine masculine presence at play here. I think, it could have something to do with a relationship and how you're realizing that you deserve better. I'm just going to say that now. There's another message I'm getting here that's a side message for some of you. If there was a relationship that you ended recently, or you are about to end because you are realizing that you deserve better, if you're hearing this right now, you cannot escape it. You need to cut off ties from that person, because coming from me, okay, it was hard for me to leave my baby daddy, but I did it. And honestly, even though I ripped that Band-Aid off and it tore off my skin, it tore off my hair, and it made my scab bleed again, like, at the end of the day, I was able to heal because I was done. I was done with that situation. So for the side message here, for some of you who really need to leave that person, it's saying, if you're only realizing you need to leave them, but you're still sometimes occasionally trying to convince yourself why you should stay, you need to stop. I'm going to tell you that right now. You need to stop, because you're going to get better material harvest and material abundance and all this other stuff if you kind of just like focus away from them. Now, if you live with this person and you're kind of trapped with them, this is showing you need to meditate, you need to separate yourself from them, you need to stop giving a crap about them, and you need to focus on getting yourself together so you can find your own and have your own to hold down. Okay, so then you have the Four of Swords again. This was you realizing that, better things do lie in store for you. You deserve better things. And if this doesn't have to do with a relationship and it just has to do with your personal journey generally, then it's again saying that you are you are finally finding ways to protect yourself emotionally, and you are finding ways to kind of like be okay with what's happening around you. And through that, you will gain material harvest. by focusing on yourself and meditating more. Meditation will help every single one of you, I guarantee you, regardless of what deck you chose. Meditate. Meditate at least 5 minutes a day. I'm getting too overwhelmed. You guys are extreme. Okay, meditate at least 5 minutes a day. Try to push for 10. If you can't do it, whatever. But either way, the point is that you're at the point where you are seeking answers. And that's why you're here today. So the fact that Love Begins showed up makes a lot of sense, because at the end of the day, we got justice, okay? And let me tell you a little about justice, okay? So justice kind of signifies, you know that your good karma that you put in, you've given people a lot of things and maybe they didn't fully appreciate it, okay? Your good karma's gonna come back to you. It will, I swear. But you're also realizing that other people's bad karma is going to move away from you. And that shit's going to be on them. You know, they're going to get theirs. They's going to get theirs karma. Okay? So you got wisdom here. Now, with the wisdom card and the justice card coming up right next to each other, I'm just going to say, I don't think you should ever let it go to your head. If someone who hurt you gets bad karma, I don't want you, and neither does your higher self, or God, or source, or the universe, whatever you want to call it. Neither one of us wants you to be like, hey, that's what you get. No, that's not good of you, okay? What you want to do is you want to just be like, oh, they got their just desserts. I'm out here doing my best. Pray and stay away, sis. Pray and stay away, okay? Hope that better things happen to them. Because at the end of the day, anybody who hurts anybody only hurts them because they are hurting. Which means, if you really truly care about other people, if you really truly consider yourself a good person, then instead of being like, it makes me happy when my enemies get suffering, like, no, instead of doing that, you really gotta take a second, and you gotta be like, damn, look at that, they got what they deserve. That's why you don't put out negative energy. Therefore, you don't put out negative energy. Group number 2. Okay, how's it go? Okay, anyway, so we have another card. We have the Wild at Heart. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that makes so much sense why I'm vibing with this group number 2. Okay, so you're wild at heart. Maybe you're I have a feeling that maybe you deep down are what me and my sister like to call stupid. Okay? You're a wild child, and you have this roaring, fiery spirit. You know, maybe you're a fire sign, maybe you have a fire rising sign, blah, 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 whatever. But you are a powerful person, and I think that ultimately that, you know, you kind of, it's okay. It's okay that people hurt you and that you're getting through it, though. You got yourself out of that situation, or you're about to get yourself out of that situation. All that matters is that you do escape that situation. If you're hearing this now, there's no lying to yourself. You can't be like, you know, after this reading, you can't be like, oh, you know, maybe there's hope and maybe she wasn't referring to me. Like, no, I'm calling you out. Leave that situation, okay? You're too wild at heart to be held down. You got to be focusing on your hobbies and your career. You got to be focused on what's yours. You got to be focusing on, you know, making sure that you're loving yourself and putting yourself first. Like, don't be focusing on other people. So I got the Lady of the Mirror, reflection and non-judgment. I think that kind of goes with everything else. It's like, even if you perceive something bad happening to somebody who hurt you, or good happening to somebody who hurt you, do not judge those things. You have to be okay with someone who has hurt you having good things happen to them. You have to be okay with that. Because odds are the only reason that they ever hurt you in the first place is because how do you know that they weren't going through 10 times more hurt than you were going through just from them? Okay? So you kind of have to humble yourself. Even if they are shitty. Sorry, YouTube. Even if they are crappy, even if they are, you know, selfish and this and that, blah, blah, blah. You have to pray that better things happen to them so they don't feel the need to be crappy to other people anymore. So with the reflection and non-judgment, I also think that this is saying, look in the mirror, look at yourself, acknowledge yourself for who you are. Honor yourself, love yourself, respect yourself, and really give yourself credit, because I have a feeling that maybe you're crazy and you're fun and people love being around you, but I have a feeling that maybe you still have days where you're like, you feel like crap about yourself. And if that's the case, honestly, I think you need to just kind of like give yourself a little bit more respect, and again, meditate. Even if it's only for 5 minutes a day, I have a feeling, like, personally, I'm a wild child, so this deck really does resonate with me hardcore. This spread does. So I have a feeling that if you're like me, you're a wild child who cares about other people. You're very empathic. You love being the heart of the party, even if you were a little shy, you know, growing up, whatever. If you like making people smile, and you like going stupid, like I said, you know, you like being crazy, represent that shit. Do not let that die. Do not judge yourself. Do not put yourself down. You know, if you said half the stuff that you say to yourself to your best friend, which, by the way, you are your best friend, whether you like it or not, you chose to be here. So if you talk to yourself, you know, if you would talk to your friends the way that you talk to yourself, think about that. That's really how you kind of want to look at yourself. So look in the mirror, and when you look in the mirror, I want you to look at yourself, and I want you to see that physical body that you might judge here and there, or maybe a lot. I want you to look at that physical body, and I want you to be like, I want you to look at yourself, and I want you to be like, hell yeah. I want you to look at every single one of your flaws everywhere, and I want you to be like, you're badass, because you can laugh in dark times. You know how to make people laugh. You're wise. Even if you're loud and crazy and stupid some days, like, you still have your days where you sit down and you're actually present with yourself. You're the type of person who can have a deep conversation, and for that, I respect you. So our last, we got 2 more cards, and then we have 1 more. You have Protecting Angel. Let me hold your hand so we can explore the day together. Okay. And then we have Share Your Smiles. When you smile, you make other people want to smile as well. What was I just saying? Literally, what was I just saying? Okay, so the Protecting Angel, I feel like, is personal guidance for you. This is saying that your fiery spirit alone can literally encapsulate you and protect you from negativity. I just felt called to say that. So, like, I really hope that resonates. Because you are guided. You are protected. Like, God's got you in her arms, bro. Let me hold your hand so we can explore the day together. This is kind of saying, like, again, non-judgment, okay? If bad things or, like, if weird, stressful things happen to you, like, just trust that the universe and God, spirit, source, higher self, whatever you want to call it, is there with you. And you need to, like, recognize that it is looking out for you. Excuse me. And, you know, even in trying times, like, it's important that you share your smile. Because, like, again, when it says, when you smile, you make other people want to smile as well. Happiness is contagious. And if there's anything that I learned from this quarantine, is that people need each other. People need each other more now than ever before. So, when you feel, group number 2, your fiery little spirit, when you feel yourself getting a little stressed out, it's very important that you take a break. You step outside and you just look at the sky, and remember to look at yourself too. And remember that people don't see your physical body. They see your spirit. Okay? You know, people love you for you. People aren't going to love you for your physical appearance. And if you think at all that's any sort of, like, weight in the real world, when we all get old and ugly, if you think that your physical appearance matters now, you're going to hate yourself when you're older. So your choice is treat yourself with more respect, because when you look prettiest in a smile. I know that's cliche, like, oh babe, smile more. No, I mean it. I really do. I was the same way. Look at me. When I don't smile, I'm like, okay? But then I smile and it's like, oh my gosh, she looks 10 years younger, okay? You gotta smile, bro. Wear that happiness. Wear that fiery spirit. Be wild at heart. Be stupid. Be crazy. Do whatever you gotta do. Okay? Last card. It's reversed. It says, what makes you feel happy? And since it's reversed, you really got to look into yourself. Look inside. What makes you happy? Ask yourself. Don't answer it for me. Tell me about it, sure, in the comments, but what makes you happy? What truly makes you happy? I'm not talking about covering up your ugliness with makeup. I'm not talking about getting likes on TikTok and getting all these e-girls, you know, to be your friend and stuff. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking what makes you happy, something that you can have at the end of the day when you're old, and that's all you have because it's there for you. What makes you happy? If all that makes you happy is love, that's enough. If all that makes you happy is making other people happy, that's enough, girl. But if that's what you're gonna do, you better own it. You better respect it. You better honor it. And you better never, ever, ever forget it. Never leave it behind. Because if that's the little bit left of happiness that you have, you owe it to yourself to keep giving that to yourself. That being said, I love you. Okay, God bless you. On to pile number 2. 3. This wine's getting to me. Take another sip. Sip. Alright, I'm going to try to end this quickly because, again, I have limited storage on my phone, so if you would like to donate to my Patreon, please, $5 helps, okay? Alright, guys, group number 3. Here we go. We have the pink calcite. This calcite is one of my favorite stones, personally. This stuff is slimy. So, I kind of have to, like, regroup from group number 2, because group number 2 was rowdy. Girl, you got that spirit, though. She got that spirit. Alright, so we're going to move on to, by the way, I'm rubbing a Tiger's Eye Worry Stone. I lost it. Okay, so group number 3. Alright, here's what we have for you. We're going to take your Sheriff Angel card and we're going to put that in the corner for later. Okay, so the first 3 cards that you have, 7 of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune, and the 2 of Swords. So you have the 7 of Swords reversed. Now, I noticed this when it came out, so I actually do not read this deck reversed, but it came out reversed, so I left it because I wanted to see which one it was. So we're going to keep in mind that it was reversed, but again, I don't do reverse decks, so I'm just going to give my intuitive explanation as to why it was reversed on its own. So, now for early readers out there, anybody who's picking up tarot, if the back looks like this, you can use it reversed. But if the back looks like this, you can't use that reversed, okay? That's how I work with it. If it has a completely symmetrical back, where you can't tell if it's up or down, that's how you know if it's a reversible deck. For everybody who wanted to know who's early in reading. So anyway, the first card you got here, 7 of Swords. So to me, this first one is saying, you're running from something and I can't tell if it's your emotions or what other people think of you. It's a combination of both naturally because everything goes hand in hand, but ultimately I think it's saying that, okay, if you feel pressured, now this is just a shot in the dark. Again, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and correct me if I'm wrong. Tell me your stories, tell me where I was wrong, tell me more information, like anything about your readings, because again, this is general for everybody. Okay, but the first thing I got here was, and now before we continue, I just want to say, I do individual readings, so if you guys want a one-on-one reading, I do offer those. You can check the description and my links will be down there, so just email me at the email provided below. So the 7 of Swords, again, I think that it's saying kind of like, you're worried about what other people think about you, but at the same time, like, you got stuff that you want to do. Like, you have this thing that you've been working on, or this thing that you've been trying to achieve, and maybe there's other people around you who don't really agree with it. That's fine. They don't have to, because at the end of the day, you have the Wheel of Fortune. You have the entire world laid out in front of you, so whatever you want to do, you can do it. I promise you. You just have to be willing to take the shot in the dark, okay? You have to be willing to risk certain things happening. Now, I just felt called to say this. Whatever you're worried about happening, I have a feeling it's not going to go as badly as you think it is. I don't know who needed to hear that, but I'm just saying that, okay? So, even if it does end up happening the way you think it does, I mean, you're going to get through it. If it's something super scary, I have a feeling you're probably just paranoid. But if it's something that's like, you can live with, I think you'll live with it. You'll be fine. Whatever thing you want to shoot in the dark, like, if that doesn't work, try a different route, okay? That's all like, I don't know who the hell needed to hear that. I don't know why you needed to hear that, but tell me about it in the comments. I do appreciate to hear, to whatever. Recognition and reward. So you have the recognition and reward reversed. Okay, so, oh my gosh, all of these decks have resonated with me heavy. Okay, so with the 7 of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune, and the 2 of Swords, you're taking, okay, you've got something you've been wanting to do, You've been realizing that, pretty much yes. The answer, if you're watching this now, this is a sign, yes. Anything that you want to do, you can do, okay? You got to keep that in mind, and you got to make sure that you're, like, acting as if you know your power, okay? Because that's how manifestation works. And if you truly want to manifest stuff, you can't be like, oh, but what if they don't like it, or what if they don't like it? Like, who cares? Stop it, okay? Focus here, focus. I love you. Anything you want to do, you can do, okay? Take your shot. You will get recognition and reward, and you will also prove to yourself that you're amazing. You could public speak if you want. You can put yourself out there. People think you're funny. You don't need to be insecure about yourself anymore, and you need to stop that, actually, because that's 2020. How old are you now? How old are you and you're still insecure? Why? Why? What, you think that you don't deserve love, but then you're going to be nice to everybody else. You're going to be compassionate to everybody else, but not yourself. Okay? That's BS. Stop doing that, because you deserve internal recognition. You deserve to give yourself credit, okay? Rejoice in celebration. Whatever it is that you want to do, if it's a relationship, okay? If it doesn't turn out the way that you think it's going to turn out, or that you might be worried that it doesn't turn out, again, good for you. If it doesn't work out, then good for you. At least you're not stuck with someone who's not going to serve you. At least you're not stuck with somebody who's not going to benefit you, you know what I mean? So, rejoice in celebration. However, I do think that it's saying whatever you want to do, I do think that it will bring you good results. So, we have the sacrifice card says that sometimes you have to sacrifice, like, your anxiety to do something bold or brave. Sometimes you have to sacrifice your parents' happiness in order to do something that's going to bring you happiness in the long run. You should not be worried about that kind of stuff. And if you were born into a family that creates resistance like that, I do think that it's a sign. Your lesson is your journey, your path. It's carved out for you to break through the chains. Break the chains, break the molds. Don't worry about that kind of stuff. I think that that's what this card is saying. So sacrifice little things for a bigger reward. Maybe cutting out this specific person will help you bring in better people, which in turn will bring you to better people, which in turn will bring you to more better people, which in turn will bring you to the best people, which is what you need. So find your soul family. Don't worry about what's going on around you. You know what feels real. So here you have the Raven's Wand. Girl, you are the star. Girl, you are the prophecy. You are the legacy. You are the one who's gonna make your dreams come true. Nobody else can do that for you. And we have the Spirit Whisperer, divine guidance and higher knowing. And that came in reversed. So, you are a very psychic, intuitive, beautiful person. I have a feeling that you've been wanting something for a while. You've been wanting to do something for a while, and it's finally going to be coming true, but you have to use your intuition. You have to make sure that you're cutting out the people that your gut tells you to stay away from. You have to make sure that you don't even get associated with the people that your gut is telling you to stay away from. You need to listen to this inner monologue, because that is what will keep you safe. Okay, the next two cards we have Angel Magic. Let's join together Let's join together and celebrate your life ahead. Okay, so that's saying take the chance, man, because human beings have a relatively small life. It's gonna feel like a long time either way, okay? We're gonna be here for a long time, but we have a very short life, realistically, in the grand scheme of how long a star lives or a planet lives, we have a very short life compared to them. That being said, it's either going to be a very long life that feels like it goes by quickly because you're laughing and having fun and you're taking those chances and you're doing what you want to do, or it's going to be a very long life that's going by painfully slow. It's going to go by very quickly, but it's going to feel like it's going slow because you're wasting your time. You're not taking the chances. You're not taking the risks, and you're not taking the liberty for yourself to do what you want to do when you know it's burning inside you that you should do it. If you feel inspired when you see things like this, if you feel goosebumps, if you feel like that chill up your spine, or if you feel inspired to do something, go do that thing you're thinking about. And now I'm not talking about reconnecting with an ex, okay? I'm not talking about that. Get your ego out of it. If your ego's in it, okay? I'm just saying. That's just for some of you. focus on yourself. Do what you want to do creatively and, you know, focus on your hobbies, girl. Go to school, go to freaking whatever the hell you want to do, okay? Go to that coffee shop that you've been wanting to try. Maybe you might meet a new friend there. Like, reach out. Don't be so shy. But of course, remember that shyness is a quality. You know, it's something that people do like. Like me as someone who's not very shy, I love shy people. I think that they're super cute. I think they're sweet. But I also think they're badass in their own way. So, you know, I'm just saying, you know, if that's the type of person you are. If it's not, then cool. What's up? Bro fist. Shine out. Every day is a learning experience that can make your life exciting. Girl or boy. You can learn something from life every single day. I think it's kind of just saying ultimately is like, if you want to do things, but you kind of doubt your ability to do those things, you just need to educate yourself a little bit more. With time, patience, and discipline, you can do anything you want, okay? So I'm going to read your last card, but I just want to say that you guys have a lot of potential. Every single one of you, regardless of what deck you got, like you really do have to pay attention to your inner beauty and power, because like, we're all gonna get old and rot someday. Like, do you really want your life to be full of regrets? Like, is that what you want? Because I don't care what your parents say. I don't care what your friends say. I don't care what your coworkers or your peers say. If you're not living for yourself, you're not living at all. You're dying. Let that scare you. Final card. Enjoy being outdoors. Okay. So that was a little vibe I got. You spend too much time inside. I was kind of getting the vibe that maybe like you're sitting inside and you're just this little ball of creative energy and you have all these ideas. You have all these things you want to do, but you don't do them. That is a problem. That is what you need to focus on so you can kind of like, you know, okay, just for example, go outside for 30 minutes today, maybe 40 minutes, maybe an hour, maybe longer, whatever. Go outside. I don't care if it's in your yard or if you go down the street. I don't care if it's sitting on your front steps. Go outside and get the sunlight on your face and bathe in it. Bathe in it the way that you did when you were a kid and just be okay with everything. You might, I'm not saying you're going to, I don't think you're going to, but you very well could die next week. Enjoy this life while it's here. For all we know, I personally believe in reincarnation, okay? But that doesn't make death any less scary. And for all we know, this might be our only chance to live. So, no more holding yourself back. No more of this self-deprecation. No more of this self-disbelief or doubt. None of that. We're done with that. It's 2020. How old are you? It's time for you to get your shit together. It's time for you to get your ass in gear. It's time for you to put yourself first, and it's time for you to put yourself out there. Be friends with the people you want to be friends with. Make connections. But do not become too attached to anyone that you sacrifice your own happiness for the sake of the relationship or keeping them happy. Do not do that. If you truly love somebody, you'll do what's best for them, even if it means temporarily hurting them. That being said, I hope you guys liked that tarot reading. Please, again, check out the links in the description and like and comment and subscribe, please, because I really want to do more of these. And yeah, I love you guys. Give me any video suggestions, pick a card suggestions, or anything. And yeah, I love you. I hope that this resonated for some of you. So, namaste. Have a great day.